we are going to be taking this little tiny island and turning it into Inferno Island. Let's get started. Hello everyone, it's the Exotic Builder here with another episode of Let's Build a Bikini Bottom episode 6 already. Wow, I can't believe we are already on episode 6. In the last episode, we built Sunny Street Dome. Here we're building the Inferno Island prison camp, which SpongeBob and Patrick somehow confused the ships and went onto this island instead of the happy island, let's say. So this is the very start. It's pretty much a campground or a courtyard on top of this spiky mountain range, which we'll be building pretty much from the red sand. And the strategy I used was to make spheres, solid spheres, and place them all over to get the spiky effect. And I needed like 3 or 4 different sizes of spheres to actually make sure all the rocks, the rock range around the structure will be pointy and not completely flat and smooth, which I'm used to doing. So this was definitely a change from the normal terrain of Bikini Bottom. But I got used to it, we did it, and I think it turned out acceptable enough. Actually really good. But this is the range, layout red sand. The biggest challenge here was to not overdoing it, but I kind of was able to match kind of where the spikes were and make it look accurate enough. So it was actually very interesting to look at, not even from a nimble standpoint, even just look at it from the water. I almost hit the ground. We're literally in the middle of nowhere here. No wonder boot camp is here. Although this boot camp is really has some issues in it. I mean, you'll see what I mean coming up. The texturing you see here is going to change. That looks ugly. I didn't like the grayness after like completing this build. So that is going to be changing. And after all that landscaping, we can finally focus on the fortress. Here will be a little mud surface courtyard with tires and all that stuff coming up later. And this is the building that will give you access to the actual cells, the prison cells I call them, inside the fortress. And of course we need a way to actually access this building, so we have a little dock, which will be a ship will be parked there. So once again, we'll be building another ship. Yeah, I know, what a surprise. As we build the docks, don't forget to like, subscribe if you really like this content. It makes me motivated. And of course, let others experience this amazing series of the Bikini Bottom, because honestly, I don't think there's anything like it. So make sure you follow. This building though reminds me a lot of Alcatraz. It's kind of the extreme version / smaller version of Alcatraz. Impossible to escape, but really intense. I'm sure there's no alligators inside the waters of Bikini Bottom, but I'm sure you find something else down there, so you do not probably want to escape from there. Inside is like a prison. It's jail cells along the perimeter with a workout / communal space in the center, which looks, I guess, pretty bad. Like, this building was interesting. You didn't want it to look good. It's technically supposed to look bad and a place where you don't want to be. So unlike now, like I'm building kind of fancy right now, that doesn't work with builds like these. You're really trying to build the opposite. So that's why we're going to be making this look as ugly as possible, but still being somewhat realistic to whatever this is supposed to be, which is a prison camp / boot camp. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a boot camp, although it does look like it's a prison. I am still debating though if this is really a boot camp for training or whatever. Honestly, I should call it a prison island, but that's what it is. Inside each cells, there's a beds for 2 people, 2 concrete beds, supposedly bunk beds, but bunk beds in look right, so just make them single beds. Very uncomfortable. All you get is a pillow and you get to sleep on site and on the concrete mattress, on the concrete slab, which is your bed. This is the little kitchen. It's like the only kitchen on this island. And honestly, it's pretty sizable, but I don't know what type of food you get here. I hope it's at least somewhat decent, which it won't be. Now, this is the campgrounds, host island the final touches. That vent there on the right side, that is where the tartar sauce was. I don't know why we have that, but they throw SpongeBob Patrick inside that pit, so I'm sure it's there for some reason. Maybe it's a leftover food. No, actually no, it was chum there. They threw chum in there. How can I forget? It wasn't tartar sauce. Getting some final detail. Got the barbed wires, the lookout towers on each corner. And really making this building look like it should be. It's very supposed to be a intense, scary, almost scary structure. This is the docks. That is where they actually hosted this little show, and the prisoners actually tried to escape from this island. But of course, the boat was only a prop for the actual movie they were doing, so it sank, and everyone was pretty much captured and had to face the punishment of doing arts and crafts from the Fun Island. Don't ask how that worked, but it worked. Everyone hated it. This is a prison ship. It is definitely one of the most boring ships slash rusted down looking ships that I think I ever built. I never thought I'd build something like this, but I did. It's honestly only like 5 stages away from becoming a shipwreck in a few seconds. Honestly, it looks more as a shipwreck compared to the Mauna Loa shipwreck, which we built like 2 episodes ago. Anyway, this is the shipwreck. Some windows on top and 2 doors on either side, and we're gonna be finally getting some texturing, seeing how it actually sort of look like. There we go. Now it looks like almost like a ship that shouldn't even be on the water. The only good part about the ship is literally the cabin, the captain's, I guess, quarters on the top. And finally, we're going to be retexturing this ugly mountainside into something that looks like somewhere you don't want to go. And this is it. This is Inferno Island. Stay tuned for the cinematics and a walkthrough. Welcome to Inferno Island, a prison camp slash boot camp located far off the shores of Gulagoon. I mean, Gulagoon is kind of far actually. It's way down there, I believe. I don't remember. It's so far away, but yeah, this little tiny island used to be a tiny little sand patch in the middle of nowhere here in the water. We turned it into something that looks, I would say, more uglier, but also look amazing at the same time. Welcome to Inferno Island. Here we have the prison boat. There's nothing in here, but if it was something in here, it would just be literally rows of benches and everyone just sitting down here. And then the bottom floor would, I guess, be I could decorate this place, I mean, in a short or whatever, if people are interested. But down there would simply just be the actual crew, the crew of the ship. And this in here would be the where you actually steer the ship, and has some tall steam engines and coal engine, all that on the top. And we have some ropes holding down, tying down the ship, make sure don't blow away. This is a prison gate. This is where the warden, all them, actually came to watch the show through this gate. This is where the curtain we hanged up, and the showboat was there before the prisoners attempted to make their great escape, to realize that boat was fake. Don't actually how they know it was fake. They were like really all over the boat, but it was fake, and they all ended up falling in the water, and somehow they had to be rescued. Alright, this is it. From the top of the big staircase to Inferno Camp Island, whatever this building's called. Inferno Island, that's what you call it. And this is it. This is the actual prison. Part of it. Believe me, you don't want to be down here. In here we have a laundry room. Another cell. Some of these cells are smaller. These are bigger ones for the lucky ones, and these are some smaller ones if you want to live in a smaller space, or if you most likely get very unlucky. Oh, this is a good one. You're actually by yourself here, so that might be the best one to get if you don't want to be with other people. But most of these are supposed to be bunks, so technically some of these should have like 4 per cell, which is insane. To get to the bottom of this place, we have to take the stairs down the shaft. into the this is the warden's office. Not in there. That's only for the warden. That's the little office here. I could add some stuff. Like I could add some I don't know, filing cabinets, I guess. Let's add those real quickly, because why not? We can do this a little bit of building on camera. We can definitely do that. But in here is the main part where everyone eat and do all the activities. I imagine these tables be movable, which go in here, so you can do whatever you want in here. So this is where the warden can look outside, or the guard whatever can look outside, see what's going on in here. Now going back upstairs here, we're going to be going to the courtyard on the very top of the oh, this is one of the guard towers. We go to another one. But up here, oh, I forgot the button here. Well, I forgot a lot of stuff in this building. That's why I'd say this building's pretty much doesn't stand for any standards or whatever. It's pretty bad to live here or to stay here, even for boot camp. But here is the courtyard. There's nothing much to it. We have some tires. Oh, this is where the chum was. This is where SpongeBob and Patrick got dumped in chum. So, and they loved it. They actually ate all the chum. So maybe that's what they served as kitchen. This is probably why the kitchen looks so bad and ugly too. Like, look how bad this looks. The only clean part of this kitchen is literally this table here. Other than that, you don't really be in here. And here's one of the guard towers, where the guard can look into the courtyard and try to try to look for escapees. And the webs, yes, are the actual barbed wires, spiky barbed wires. And you have, of course, the courtyard out here once again, more guard towers, and nothing really too much. This is where they use pickaxes to actually smash the rocks, because that seems to be a very common thing we do in here. Alright, coming back out from the courtyard is the actual island itself. It's pretty much just purple mountains or spikes sticking up from the island. I think the shape of it looked really good. It does look a little spiky, like smooth in some places, but I think it gets a point across for the most part. And honestly, I think it turned out pretty good. The texturing was, of course, unique to this island because I wanted to look more ugly / more rustic / place somewhere we don't want to be. So folks, this pretty much ends it for this episode of Inferno Island. Hope you all enjoy it. You know what to do. Leave a like, comment. I always look up for my suggestions, so please give me some suggestions how I can improve and all that stuff. But catch you all in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.